Something happened this week that most people don't fully understand yet. On March 27th, 2026, a coordinated strike hit one of the most critical American military installations in the Middle East. And the shockwaves from that single event are now threatening to reshape global power, crash financial markets, and pull an entire generation of Americans into a war they didn't see coming. This is not a drill. This is not speculation. This is a tactical and macroeconomic breakdown of the US-Iran conflict and the impending global shockwave that nobody's talking about clearly enough. Today, we're going to walk through exactly what happened, how it happened, who is really behind it, and, most importantly, what comes next. Stay with me. Because by the end of this, you'll understand this crisis better than 99% of people watching the news right now. Let's start with the big picture. This is not a traditional war. There are no two armies lined up across a battlefield. What we are witnessing is a four-front asymmetric assault, and each front is designed to bleed the United States in a completely different way. Front 1, kinetic. Precision missile and drone strikes directly targeting US air assets in the Middle East. The goal, destroy American hardware before a single retaliatory sortie can be launched. Front 2, psychological. This is where it gets fascinating and frightening. Iran has achieved what analysts are calling total narrative dominance, a 98% narrative control score, by weaponizing Gen Z social media culture, TikTok formats, memes, viral content. They are winning the information war on your phone screen right now. Front 3, proxy. Iran didn't do this alone. There is an invisible hand guiding the precision and timing of these strikes. And that hand belongs to Russian intelligence. More on that in a moment. Front 4, economic. This is the one that hits closest to home. The domestic fallout of this conflict has already triggered a US market crash. The S&P 500 down 15.4% in a single day. The Dow Jones in critical failure. The Nasdaq on the edge of a meltdown. Four fronts. One coordinated objective. Paralyze the superpower without firing a single Russian bullet. So where did it all begin? March 27th, 2026. Prince Sultan Air Base. A critical joint Saudi-US military hub located at coordinates 24.06 degrees north, 47.58 degrees east in the heart of Saudi Arabia. The attack vector was a simultaneous coordinated launch. Ballistic missiles arcing in from Iranian territory while drone swarms converged from multiple directions. It was designed to overwhelm layered air defenses from every angle at once. The result? $3 billion in cumulative damage. US Air Force air defenses. Shredded. Aircraft. Destroyed on the runway. Radar systems. Knocked offline. Drone interceptors. Eliminated. In military terms, this wasn't just an attack. It was a statement. A carefully engineered demonstration that the most powerful air force on the planet can be caught off guard in its own backyard. Now here's the part that should concern every strategist watching this. The strike didn't just destroy planes. It destroyed the eye in the sky. The E-3 AWACS, the airborne warning and control system, is not a fighter jet. It doesn't drop bombs. What it does is far more valuable. It coordinates entire fighter squadrons. It tracks incoming threats across thousands of square miles. It is essentially the brain of American airborne operations. And it was destroyed, along with multiple critical aerial refueling jets. The lifeline that keeps fighter aircraft in the sky on long-range missions. The financial blow alone is staggering. Between $500 million and $700 million per AWACS aircraft. But the tactical reality is what keeps commanders up at night. There are zero immediate replacement assets available for the US Air Force in theater. You haven't just lost hardware. You've lost situational awareness. You've gone blind. Over one of the most volatile regions on Earth. Now when something this embarrassing happens, the instinct of every government is the same. Control the story. Downplay the damage. Manage the narrative. And historically, that has worked. Look at Operation Sindoor. When India's S-400 system destroyed Pakistan's airborne warning aircraft, Pakistan successfully suppressed all satellite imagery of the wreckage. The cover-up held. The world never saw it. The United States tried to do exactly the same thing after Prince Sultan. It failed. Completely. Here's why. Russian intelligence didn't just help plan the strike. They made sure the world saw it. High-resolution satellite imagery of destroyed US jets was leaked globally on March 28, 2026. The images spread instantly. The damage was undeniable. The embarrassment was unprecedented. In the modern era, you cannot hide a defeat, especially when your adversary controls the satellite that photographed it. But the kinetic strike was only half the battle. The psychological operation running alongside it may actually be more consequential in the long run. On March 27th, The same day missiles were raining down on Prince Sultan, Iranian military spokesman released a video. In it, an officer in full uniform stands calmly, sipping pomegranate juice, while ballistic missiles launch in the background behind him. No panic, no urgency. Pure, calculated fearlessness. The method was surgical. Weaponized Gen Z trends, TikTok video formats, and internet meme culture to mock the United States in real time in a language that travels at the speed of social media. The result? Complete narrative dominance. Geopolitical analysts are openly admitting that Iran has displayed a level of social media sophistication that nobody expected, projecting total psychological confidence to a global audience of hundreds of millions. Narrative score: Iran plus 85%, United States minus 30%. This is what modern warfare looks like. And the battlefield is your phone. Now let's talk about the question everyone is dancing around. How did Iran achieve this level of precision? Strikes this accurate? Timing this perfect? Targeting this specific? The answer has 3 steps. Step 1. Russian intelligence gathers high-resolution satellite imagery and exact GPS coordinates of every US military asset in the Middle East. Step 2. That data is covertly relayed, through encrypted channels, directly to Tehran's missile command. Step 3. Iran executes strikes with a level of precision that military analysts describe as anomalous, far beyond what their own targeting systems could achieve independently. And this is not speculation. President Zelensky of Ukraine has publicly confirmed this direct Russian link. So has the UK Defense Secretary. Vladimir Putin has found the perfect strategy: cripple American military power in the Middle East, without deploying a single Russian soldier. No Russian blood. No Russian accountability. Maximum strategic damage. This is the invisible war. And it's working. What we're really watching here is a collision of 2 fundamentally different military doctrines. On one side, the United States running Operation Epic Fury, traditional force projection, air superiority, massive logistical footprint, high cost, physical dominance of the theater. On the other side, Russia and Iran running Operation Hidden Hand, covert intelligence sharing, proxy execution, low cost, psychological demoralization. The objective isn't to occupy, it's to humiliate. One doctrine says, bring overwhelming force and the enemy submits. The other doctrine says, bleed them slowly, embarrass them publicly, and let their own domestic population turn against the war. One of these doctrines is winning right now, and it's not the expensive one. Here is where the situation becomes truly dangerous. If the United States responds by escalating, by authorizing a ground invasion of Iran, the scenario plays out in 3 brutal steps. Step 1, the Trump administration authorizes ground troops. Step 2, the invasion stalls. Iran's terrain, population size, and prepared defensive doctrine turn the operation into a quagmire. American POWs are captured in large numbers. Casualty figures climb. Step 3. And this is the one that no American politician wants to say out loud. The military runs out of volunteer capacity. And a mandatory military draft for Americans under 30 becomes the only option on the table. That's not a dystopian scenario. That is the logical end of the escalation ladder. And Iran knows it. Russia knows it. This trap was built deliberately. The question is, does Washington see it? While the military situation deteriorates abroad, the economic damage at home is already happening, right now in real time. The Nasdaq has plunged over 12%, wiping out trillions in American household wealth in a matter of days. Fuel prices are spiking exponentially. Every dollar rise at the pump is a direct tax on the American working and middle class. And CNN is reporting something remarkable. Even wealthy Americans are panicking. The foundational assumption of US prosperity, that markets go up, that your 401k is safe, that retirement is secure, is cracking under the strain of prolonged conflict. This is the domestic hemorrhage, and it feeds directly back into the military calculation. Here's the critical context that makes America uniquely vulnerable to this kind of pressure. Think about stock market exposure by country. India? Roughly 6 to 7% of the population is directly exposed. A market crash hurts, but it doesn't paralyze the nation. Canada? Roughly 50% exposure. Painful, but survivable. The United States? A staggering 55% of the American population relies on the stock market for their wealth and retirement, through 401ks and IRAs. This means a sustained market downturn doesn't just hurt hedge fund managers and Wall Street traders. It destroys the retirement savings of teachers, nurses, factory workers, and small business owners across every state in the country. That is not a side effect of this conflict. That is a target. The American middle class is the pressure point, and it is being squeezed deliberately. Which brings us to the decision sitting on the president's desk right now. 2 paths. 2 radically different outcomes. Path 1, prolonged war. Send ground troops. Risk triggering the draft. Drive the Nasdaq into a generational ditch. Lock the United States into a multi-year conflict with no clear exit. And cement a catastrophic presidential legacy. Path 2. Strategic U-turn. Halt the escalation. Absorb the public relations hit. Declare a measured de-escalation. And save the American economy, the stock market, and the retirement accounts of 180 million Americans. Neither path is comfortable. Neither path is clean. But only one of them has an exit. And the clock is ticking. So what does this all add up to? 3 converging vulnerabilities have created what strategists are calling strategic paralysis. Loss of air supremacy, $3 billion in destroyed assets. No immediate replacements. The US can no longer dominate the skies over the theater it entered. Information warfare defeat. TikTok propaganda and viral psyops are outmaneuvering $1 trillion traditional PR apparatus. The narrative is lost. Economic vulnerability, a highly leveraged, stock-dependent domestic population is now a strategic liability. A pressure point that adversaries can squeeze without firing a single shot at American soil. And the lesson of March 2026 is this. Military might, without narrative control, without proxy awareness, and without economic resilience, no longer guarantees victory. It guarantees paralysis. The world has changed. The rules have been rewritten. And the old playbook, built for a different era, is failing in real time. This is the March 2026 crisis. Not a simple conflict between two countries. A sophisticated, multi-dimensional campaign designed to expose every structural weakness in American power. Military, informational, and economic. Simultaneously. The question is no longer whether the United States was caught off guard. It was. The question now is, what happens next? Stay informed. Think critically. And I'll see you in the next one.